Well, it is a Friday episode, fun Friday episode, and that means we'll have a couple of mailbag questions and baseball trivia and Name That War, and maybe a little bit more as well.
Yes, and there's a really good call-up that we are going to talk about today, so you're going to stay tuned starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as the social medias. You can find us there. Also, send us those mailbag questions whenever you get an opportunity, lockedonrays@gmail.com. So let's get right into it. The bad news, Shane McClanahan hits the injured list. The good news, Curtis Mead, friend of the pod, is getting the call-up and will presumably make his major league debut tonight or sometime this weekend, playing a combination of third, second, DH. So that at least is a little newsworthy item if you're a Rays fan to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, this is the awesome news. Congratulations to Curtis. Hard work pays off. He finally is getting that call-up, man. Maybe I think during the preseason talk, spring training, we might have guessed a little bit earlier than August 4th as a call-up. Yeah. I think so. But hey, the way that the offense started so hot, there was no need for any sort of reinforcements. But now there is a need for that. And Cash said that he will get a lot of playing time against lefties, even off the bench. If a lefty reliever comes on, he'll get that, and some starts against righties. So that should be really fun. And, he came back from that injury and on fire, man. He was hitting 360, 10 extra base hits. He was looking really good that maybe they forced their hand.
Yeah, and we'll get into some mailbag questions here, but should also note that the Rays gave up somebody named Christopher Sanchez to acquire Curtis Mead. And at the time it was like, okay, whatever. We'll see what happens. And lo and behold, a short time after that, he really elevated himself and made himself a standout prospect, one of the top, if not top prospect in the Rays organization for a time. So good for him and good luck to him as well. And if he shows out, other players on the roster may be on notice. They may be not with the Rays anymore. I think this is an opportunity, a feeler, a test drive to see what Curtis Mead is ready and prepared for. And then from there, the Rays can determine what they want to do in the offseason, offensively speaking, and positionally speaking as well. So let's dive into the mailbag questions. We've got 3 of them. We got a packed show. We also have to fit in baseball trivia and Name That War. So let's get into these questions. This first one from Ricardo Santos. He says, Locked On Rays team, there's been a lot of talk about the trade deadline and playoffs. So instead, I want to drop an off-season question. With Eflin, McClanahan, Springs, Rasmussen, and now Civale being under team control for a relative low price, will the Rays keep Glasnow for $20 million? How will the rotation look like early next year?
Thank you for writing to us, Ricardo. Man, what a timely question for this day, as Shane McClanahan goes on the IL, and the team has really kept it mum on what they have found. Look, if this is worst case scenario, and he has to miss extended time, and I'm not going to say the 2 words that you guys are thinking as well. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to put that in the universe. Yeah. But they're both names. Then I think that would cement Glasnow being with the Rays in 2024. Right. So that's a quote unquote silver lining. If you lose Shane, you might definitely get a 100% seal of approval from the front office saying, yeah, no, we're keeping Glass now. So that's looking at it glass half full. But I think there's a lot of different factors here, Kevin.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And first off, I should correct Ricardo. It's $25 million that now is owed next season. So put that in the back of your head there. And the 6 names that he rattled off, 3 of those 6 are out of commission presently, and Springs and Rasmussen are going to be out of commission for a longer period. And if we've learned anything, you can't just enter the season with 5 starting pitchers, 5 very good, great starting pitchers, and say, oh, we're going to be okay. We're going to be able to last the season. So if I had to guess, if the salary number is difficult to stomach, and I think it is if you're part of the Rays, they don't give out $25 million contracts on trees there for a single year. There is other possibilities to make the payroll in line. You could trade or do something with Manny Margot. You have a bevy of ARB3 relievers and players that maybe you just don't re-sign and bring back, like Harold Ramirez, Jalen Beeks, Andrew Kittredge, Sean Armstrong, and the same goes for ARB2 guys. And however, I'll say this, the Rays, I think at some point this season, we're running an $84 to $85 million payroll. So they are spending a little bit more than in years past. And I know that greater attendance numbers has been fruitful for them. And I'm sure they also want to save for a new stadium. But I think that they should be able to make it work even with Glasnow's $25 million figure. Outside of Glasnow, it's not like they have a ton of guaranteed contracts on the books, and the ones that they do are very team friendly, from Brandon Lau all the way down to Pete Fairbanks to Yandy Diaz, and you keep going down the list. If I'm the Rays, I mean, I guess the first move I'm thinking about is doing something with Manny Margot, assuming that you can find the outfield depth. But I don't know if there's another team out there that wants to pay Manny Margot $10 million. So maybe it's giving him away for a ham sandwich and saying, hey, can you eat $5 or $6 million of his contract? I don't know.
There's a lot of teams that might not be as defensively with defensive prowess as maybe the Phillies might need somebody like that and say, hey, Manny Margot can fit in right there. Look, I think you're right with the fact of trimming the fat on the payroll, that could be a way to do it. But when I said earlier that the McClanahan, if he is missed for an extended period of time, you can basically bank on Tyler Glasnow being with the Rays. That has already been increasing when you saw Jeffrey Springs being lost until May, June at the earliest of next year. Drew Rasmussen, there's been really no timetable set. It was like maybe this year, and then it was like, nope, not this year. So there is no timetable for Drew Rasmussen. Nobody knows that. Right. Well, the team probably knows that. Possibly. He might know that. We don't.
I think it's middle of 2024 at the earliest.
Okay, so then you're talking 2 of your 5 of this year that are not going to be there. And with the Shane McClanahan injury, worst case scenario, that's now 3. So I feel like everybody that wants to trade Tyler Glasnow, I think they're unfortunately going to be out of material. Tyler Glasnow is going to be a Ray for 2024. There's no way you can trade him now. Unless,
again, the Rays are absolutely and positively blown away by an offer. I guess I would never say never, but at this juncture, it doesn't look like it. Now, maybe something happens to where McClanahan's fine, Jeffrey Springs and Drew Rasmussen come back sooner than expected, but then I would assume the team would be in a heated playoff race, so you're not going to trade Glasnow at the trade deadline or beforehand. You talk about killing the clubhouse and taking the wind out of the sails. I think the only time, I mean, if the Rays are planning to trade Tyler Glasnow, I guess the only time would be this offseason. That's really the only time that I can see it, unless they're way out of it come mid-season 2024.
Right, and the way that this club is structured, it really doesn't look like that would be the case. So again, no. I am happy to eat my words, but I'm like 100% sure that Tyler Glasnow will be with the Rays for the remainder of his contract year. Like he will be a Ray for all of 2023 and 2024.
And again, if and when he leaves the organization, if he stays through that contract, the Rays would at least get a little something with a compensation pick, right? So
yeah.
It wouldn't be a total loss in that respect. We have more questions to get to, but first we have to tell you this. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head over to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits just right the first time around. All you have to do is add your ride to My Garage on the platform and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money is returned. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. That's really important. Remember that. Eligible items only. Exclusions do apply. All right, let's get to this next question from Cam Schultz. He says, hey guys, a little bit of trivia / some facts to back up why we all need to stop prospect hugging so much. How many of the Rays how many of the top 100 prospects, not just Rays prospects, how many of the top 100 prospects from 2018, aka 5 years ago, have made at least one all-star selection? The answer is 24. And the vast majority of those players are in the top 20. Of the prospects ranked 50 to 100 from that year, only 5 have been named an all-star. A bit surprising to me, but it goes to show that even top-tier prospects in our system are not guaranteed to be great players. In fact, it's very unlikely, not to mention the Rays typically don't keep players around more than 5 seasons.
That was Cameron, right?
Cameron, yes.
It's been a while, Cameron. Good to hear from you again. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what we've been, I think, hammering on this podcast for a long time. It's awesome to look forward to what prospects can do, to get to know them through the interviews that we've done on the podcast. But the math is there, the stats are there, the odds are there, and it's very difficult to make it into a major league roster and stay in it. And then it's much more difficult to be productive for a long period of time. It's just very difficult. Yeah. So when everybody's just like, no, you can't trade this guy. No, you can't trade this guy. You're missing an opportunity to actually get a return of a major league player that has actually given you major league success. And so very good trivia there, prospect trivia by Cameron. I think a lot more Rays fans need to hear that more often than not.
Yeah, and Fangraphs pointed it out with this trade deadline wrapping up that you're seeing a lot more of these top-tier prospects getting moved around. There is less prospect hugging for teams that are trying to win or secure a playoff spot. Of course, Kyle Manzardo, Drew Gilbert, and then several players just outside the top 100 were moved as well. And you just have to look at it for what it is with prospects. A lot can happen from the time they go through the stretch of the minor leagues to getting to the major leagues, to staying in the major leagues, to having success in the major leagues. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. You have a target on your back. If you struggle for a little bit in your first week, first month, whatever it may be, fans can turn on you quickly, depending on which market you're in. Even in the Tampa Bay market, you can get a lot of negativity thrown your way. Injuries, you have a lot of guys that never experienced failure from the time that they played little league to high school to college ball to travel ball, and then they experience that first roadblock and they don't know how to deal with it or manage it. a lot of other distractions too. You know, guys that, you know, they might be a first round pick, second round pick. They get a big fat signing bonus. They maybe don't have that motivation or rest on their laurels. So there's so many things that can happen. And plus just misevaluations maybe. So it's funny. Good point by Cameron Schultz there. And you, Ulises, you've been knocking on the door about prospect, the perils that brings. And just for poops and giggles, I have the list of the Rays prospects from 20 according to one outlet. I'm just going to run through some of these names here just to give you some perspective for somebody that is, you know, a prospect hugger, if you will, and they like to regularly go to Fangraphs and MLB.com and Baseball America and look at the progress and progression of, hey, how's the Rays top prospect from 2023 doing, 2022, whatever it may be. Number 1, Willy Adames. He's doing pretty well, I would say. Number 2, Jesus Sanchez. He's doing pretty well. Brendan McKay. Oh, boy. Brent Honeywell just got released. Maybe the Rays could take a flyer on him. Who knows again? But, I mean, Brent Honeywell, talk about a perilous story with injuries and not panning out to what he was supposed to or hyped up to. Number 5, Jake Bowers. Number 6, Christian Arroyo, who also just got released / DFA'd. Number 7, Nick Solak, also just got released / DFA'd. Number 8, the great Ronaldo Hernandez, who the Rays got in return. Chris Mazza didn't really do anything, but Jeffrey Springs also for Ronaldo Hernandez. So I guess that's where hyping up prospects can help in that respect of you can get somebody that is maybe undervalued elsewhere and turn them into a standout player. Number 9, Lucius Fox. Number 10, Anthony Bonda. 11, Justin Williams. 12, Garrett Whitley. 13, Jose De Leon. 14, Austin Franklin. 15, Yanni Chirino. 16, Joe McCarthy. 17, Jermaine Palacios. 18, Al. 19, Josh Lowe. 20, Michael Mercado. 21, Jamie Schultz. 22, Che Wei Hu. 23, Ryan Yarbrough. I'm almost done. 24, Genesis Cabrera. And 25, Vidal Brujan.
Who was 18?
Somebody named Brandon Lau.
Oh, okay. Okay. You cut off there. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's the point, people. That's the point. So look at the top 25 prospects of 2023 and then basically get 6 players that will have a few years in the league, basically.
If that, yeah. And bouncing around too. So as far as established players, that's few and far between for sure.
Yeah.
And all-stars even less than that. So we appreciate that question. This next one before Baseball Trivia Name That War from Brian Overton. He says, hey guys, love the show. Great insight and real emotion. Thank you for that. So my question is, now that the trade deadline has passed, there are a lot of players being released and so forth. So of any of these players, or are any of these players a fit for the Rays to add for depth purposes or a chance to help? Thank you for taking the time to read the question.
Well, who sent that in?
Brian Overton, I believe a first-time emailer or mailbagger, if you will.
Brian, thank you so much for finding us and for participating in the mailbag episodes. We love these episodes. We love to put you guys your thoughts and even your voice if you send a voice memo. So thank you so much for participating, Brian. Look, they actually did that a couple of days ago. Raimel Tapia.
Nobody knew about it except for a sleuthing internet dude.
Yeah, the former Blue Jay / Colorado Rocky / Red Sox has been signed. So, Brian, that's exactly who the Rays targeted. They must have been on the same wavelength as you. I think, who was the person who on Twitter? Michael Barker. Maybe I'm butchering it, but it is a Michael B. So Michael B, giving you the props for that. No, yeah, that's pretty insane how he got that. It was just like a screenshot, from a home run, and then he saw, hey, isn't that Tapia? And it is Tapia. So that's the one, Brian. That's who the Rays targeted, and maybe Tapia can provide something. I mean, he's a speedy outfielder type guy. So if somebody goes down, a Manny Margot or a Jose Siri, then you might find some speed there and some guy who can probably help you in the outfield.
So yeah, that's one guy. I think his signature hair also gives it away. It looks like a janitor's mop on top of your head. Sometimes, depending on what he's going with. But it's funny. I'm glad that Brian came to the table here, because there are a lot of notable names that got released or DFA'd. Of course, I mentioned some of the Rays' former top prospects between Arroyo and Nick Solak and Brent Honeywell, but just some of the ones that stuck out to me. And I don't know if the Rays have a need or want to take a flyer on these guys, but you have Colton Wong, Thomas Hatch, Alex Colomé, Trey Mancini, Luke Voigt, Jose Urena, Corey Dickerson, Josh Harrison, Cole Sulser, and John Segura. So, I mean, maybe if a reliever or two goes down, then maybe the Rays go back to the well and try to go after one of those guys. But what stands out to me is how fortune seemingly can change on a dime so quickly with some players. Like a year ago, or not even a year ago, this past offseason, people were knocking on the door we need to go out and get Trey Mancini or somebody of that type, or a Luke Voigt. And now they're in no man's land, basically.
Now you can get them for free, basically. It's crazy. Yeah, look, that's why this is all, and we're doing Quentin Tarantino right now. I mean, we're back to it's a circle. Now we're back to the beginning. It's very difficult to stay in the major leagues for a long time and perform very well. Even all-stars will get their time, their day in the sunshine. That could be 3-4 years. That could be 6. That could be 7. That could be 2 days, man. So a Trey Mancini, horrible outing with not outing, but horrible performance with the Astros, underwhelming. Did save a tremendous liner in first base during the World Series to get them the ring. He got the ring. Not a lot of success in Cubbies land. Now, can somebody pick him up and maybe he picks himself up? Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is it for Trey Mancini. So that's the thing with prospect hugging. Like, that was an established major leaguer, and look where he is right now. Not saying that this is the end for him, but it could be. That's why the prospect hugging is not healthy.
Yeah. And I would be curious, just going on the pitching end of things. I know that there's some guys on the 40-man that may be coming back from injury at some point, but the Rays took a flyer on Jake Diekman, and, it's worked out to some extent. I honestly haven't looked at his numbers, but he's still on the roster, right? So
he's great. Diekman's been great, man.
So, yeah. And beforehand, it was like he could have been a case like this where he gets released or DFA'd, and it's like he doesn't have another option. So maybe they do see that in another player or two here. But I'd have to look at the numbers and kind of see what they're looking for with that. But so I mean, there's options out there. It's just, are they going to take the time and wherewithal and do all the research to go through the motions to pick one or more of these players up? So there is that. All right. Let's go ahead and get into baseball trivia and name that war. Ulises, what do you have in the realm of baseball trivia?
Well, as the Rays are facing the Detroit Tigers, this is a Detroit Tiger question. But I went and saw like their top 10 career batting and top 10 career pitching. And then I'm like, these names, not even a Tigers fan could pull this out of a hat with the answers on that. So I went a little bit easier. Since 2013, if you're looking at Detroit Tiger all-star hitters and pitchers, you've got 17 different options since 2013. Okay. 17 different options since 2013 have been an all-star for the Detroit Tigers. Can you give me 8 of these 17 Tiger all-stars?
Oh, man. Miggy Cabrera.
1.
Since 2013. Justin Verlander.
2.
Curtis Granderson.
Strike 1.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it is a Friday. My brain is fried.
I will
Max
tell you.
Scherzer play for the Tigers? I'm going to say yes.
Mike Scherzer twice, 2013 and 2014. Very good.
Okay. That's 3.
Yep.
I will go with Eric Haas.
Never has been. Strike 2.
Wow. Okay. All right. I got to bear down here. A guy who hated Comerica Park. Is that the name of the park? It's a Friday. My brain is fried.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm like literally my brain is fried. I didn't even know if Jake Diekman was having a good season for the Rays. Please bear with me here. Nick Castellanos.
Oh, buddy.
No. Foul tip,
Yeah.
foul tip, foul tip.
Foul tip, foul tip. Okay, foul tip. Come on.
I'm missing some big names here, aren't I?
Big names. You're not gonna be happy with yourself.
First base, second base, third base, shortstop, outfielders.
Basically, all of those have been all-stars for the Detroit
Really?
Tigers. All of those positions.
Man, I've not been watching a lot of Tigers baseball.
And
it's
catchers.
unfortunate.
Catcher / DH.
Oh, okay. Wow. Catcher / DH. Oh, okay. Victor Martinez.
There you go. Venezuelan bump, baby.
Trying to
4
think of,
more.
like, yeah, closer as well. People have
Very good.
Yeah, but I can't think of the name. He had a unique look, I think. I don't know. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Here's my totally wrong, but I'll mention his name because he deserves the respect. Maglio Ordonez. I know it's wrong.
Yes, but you know what? He did deserve the respect. He was an all-star for them in 2006, so that's cool. You've missed Michael Lorenzen.
Oh, okay.
Gregory Soto, Shane Green, Joe Jimenez, Michael Fulmer, Justin Upton, Jose Iglesias, JD Martinez, David Price, Ian Kinsler, Prince Fielder, Torrey Hunter, and Johnny Peralta.
In my defense, a lot of these players I more so associated with their prior former teams.
Fair enough.
When I think Prince Fielder, I don't think of it in a Tigers uniform. I think in a Brewers uniform, playing alongside Ryan Braun and Corey Hart.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ian Kinsler, Texas Ranger.
Sure.
David Price, Red Sox, or Ray.
Yeah. I think of David Price as a Blue Jay forever. So
yeah, that too. And then some of the other ones are obscure, but I should have gotten more than 4 or 5 or whatever I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, there's that. My Name That War is not a Tigers player. I'm going to the series ahead of that, and a former Giants player. And he played for a couple other teams in between, but I think he's more so associated with San Francisco. Ray Durham. What is Ray Durham's career WAR?
No clue. No clue who Ray Durham is. Let's see. Outfielder?
Second baseman.
Okay. Yeah. 0 on this. I've got 0 intel in my brain for Ray Durham.
Man. Comments, light Ulises up. Do it right now. This moment. If you're watching baseball between the years of, and this is a hint, 1995 and I suppose 2008,
Ray Durham.
You should know who Ray Durham is.
Gone out of the mental archives. Gone. Clean that guy right up.
It is a Friday, so.
It is a Friday. Ray Durham. Well, we're having a Friday fun trivia day.
Yeah, I guess we can't record on Friday evenings anymore.
Yeah, this is the last Friday evening if we want to have brains.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 1995, 2008. So thank you for the hint that he played a long time, 14 seasons. So guy that's that good, 14 seasons, second baseman, has to be athletic, probably had some pop. So I'm going to go with 2 WAR for about 10 years. 10, that's 10, 20, and then, a couple negatives when he's getting old. So I'm going to go with 19 WAR for Ray Durham.
Ray Durham, a second baseman at 5'8", listed at 170 pounds, switch hitter. He had over 2,000 hits, 2,054 to be exact, 192 homers, 277 career batting average, 1,249 runs scored, 875 RBI, 273 stolen bases, 788 OPS, 104 OPS plus, 2-time All-Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can I do another guess now that I know this?
Give you a reprieve.
34.
That's good, because that's like right on the mark. 33.8 is Ray Durham's career WAR across 14 seasons. 8 with the White Sox, 6 with the Giants, 1 with Milwaukee, 1 with Oakland. I more associated him with San Francisco.
Maybe San Francisco. Yeah, but the White Sox thing is giving me a little flashbacks here.
Possibly.
Okay. Cool.
As well. So, had myriad. Oh, maybe he didn't. I thought he had multiple 2020 seasons. He had a lot of maybe Carl Crawford light seasons where it was like 13 to 19 home runs and at least 30 stolen bases, although Crawford had more like 50 or 60 stolen bases. But he was pretty dang solid.
Oh, I remember him. I'm looking him up. I'm looking him up right now. Yes.
If you ever played with the Giants on a video game alongside Barry, again, I think part of it he was probably overshadowed by Barry Bonds, and if
good job,
Jeff Kent was on the team simultaneously, that's where that comes into play.
You get a reprieve. That was a really good one.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Light Ulises up in the comments for not immediately understanding and comprehending Ray Durham. Please do it.
And also tell me wow, but once you knew the numbers, you got it right on there. So there we go.
That's true as well.
I'll take it.
All right. Hope you all enjoyed this episode despite our brains being somewhat fried or fully fried. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Rays. Enjoy Curtis Mead. We'll have more for you next week. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.